What's up guys, it's Devbird here, and so far we have this inventory system where we can split items up, we can use items and whatnot, but we're missing the very basic fundamental, which is how can we pick up items. So right now we have no way to actually get items from our world and into our inventory. So I'm going to teach you guys how to do that real quick. So we're going to go to our inventory, and then we're going to create a script and call this item pickup. We're going to open that up, and we're going to get rid of all this, and we're going to need a couple things. We're going to need a public item. We'll call it item. No. Item. And then we need a sprite renderer. And just call this my sprite renderer. Let's call it sprite renderer. Whatever. And so what we need to do is so this is going to be attached to a game object, and the game object is going to have a sprite renderer. And what we're going to do is we're going to set the item's icon to the sprite renderer. So what we're going to do is we're going to go start, and then we're going to say something like sprite renderer dot sprite is equal to item dot my icon. And so with just that, it's going to set it on the start, the sprite renderer dot sprite, to the item icon. The next thing we need to do is the interaction. Well, we already have a script called interactable that's going to handle all the interactions. And then all we need to do is override the function public override void interact. And so what are we going to do when we interact? Well, we know the first thing we're going to do is we're going to pick up the item, right? So we're going to do inventory manager dot instance dot add item, and we're going to pass through the item. And the last thing we need to do is get rid of the item in the game world. So we can just say destroy the game object. And now we're going to create a game object. We're going to make a prefab. So we're going to create 2D sprite. So we have this sprite here. And we're going to just call this blank item. And then we're going to drag in our item pickup. We probably noticed something, or maybe you didn't notice, but there's actually one more thing we need to do. We need to make it so that on start, we didn't set the sprite renderer to anything, so it gave us an error because it's null. So we need to set the sprite renderer to sprite renderer is equal to get component, and then we're going to say sprite renderer, and that should be fine. So this assumes that the item pickup is on the same game object as a sprite renderer. So just make sure that's all set there. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to make a prefab out of it. So we're going to prefabs, and then we'll just drag it in, and it's going to turn blue, meaning that it's successfully a prefab, and we don't need it anymore. Well, in our case, we still kind of do. So we're going to set this item to the chest of harmony. And then one more thing we need to do is set the sorting layer to background. But if you notice, I didn't do that for the actual prefab item. I just did it for the item that's inside our game. So let's go over to our blank item in our assets. And let's change the sorting later here to background. So whenever we use blank item again, if I drag this in, you see it's on set to background. I'm gonna get rid of that. I'm hit play. And you see at the start, the icon appears. And I can walk up to it. You see that my inventory is completely empty. And then I'm gonna walk up to it, press Z. And then the item is now in our inventory, the Chest of Harmony. So that's how you can simply pick up items. Let's say you have enemies and then they can drop items like that. You can pick them up. Maybe you have a item in your game where you just pick it up. But for our next episode, we are probably going to be doing an item pop-up. So right now it just goes straight into inventory without any sounds or anything like that. But what if you get an item in a chest? Wouldn't there be some sort of item pop-up menu accompanied by a sound, and then the chest changes, the chest becomes opened and stuff like that? We'll be covering that in the next episode, and so stay tuned, and I'll see you guys next time. I'd like to thank my Patreons Alejandro, Kovian, Bay, Emerson, Kirijo, Polybius, and Yoan. If you want to become a Patreon, you can support me at patreon.com/devbird, where you can join my Discord, or you can just join the Discord in the link description below. And you can suggest videos or ask me questions, and I'll see you guys next time.